where you said 2 to 3% of alcohol in a drink is okay and halal. Is this true? First of all, there is no such video on my YouTube channel. Yes, there was a segment that I did maybe 8 years ago or something like that, 8 or 9 years ago, and it was on Ask Huda. And I did say, while explaining the ruling on drinking non-alcoholic beer, which contains a percentage of beer, not the regular beer that intoxicates. I'm talking about the non-alcoholic beer that is sold in Saudi Arabia and in some Muslim countries as well. So I was explaining the ruling of it. Now, in order to give you a preview and for you to understand where I was coming from, I'd like you to walk with me. Not necessarily hand in hand. First of all, what is the ruling on food, drinks, clothes we wear? What is the general ruling? Is it halal or haram? All scholars say that all food, drinks, clothes, things that we use, cars, watches, computers, cameras, TVs, all of these are halal. Allah Azza wa Jal said, it is He who created for you from or whatever is on this earth. All of it. So who created whatever is on earth? It's Allah Azza wa Jal. Which means that the default is everything on earth is halal. Someone says, so weed is halal, Sheikh? Said, no, because there is evidence proving that it is haram. So whatever you see from food, drinks, etc., is considered to be halal until proven otherwise. Easy? Alhamdulillah. So what's the ruling on eating French bread? Because it's French, it's haram. No, it's halal. It's bread. But it might have this or that. Prove it to me. Once it's proven, documented, it is haram. And I won't expand on this because this is common sense. This is what Islam, the Quran, the Hadith states upon. Now we come to the issue of the presence of alcohol. Alcohol itself is made of different types of alcohol, and the chemists know this, different compositions of alcohol. Yet, not everything that has alcohol is haram. Because alcohol by itself is not wine. It is not intoxicating. If you bring a ripe banana, for example, it contains alcohol, and it contains 0.5 grams of alcohol in it. So this is a percentage. If you bring orange juice, you'll find that it contains 1.5 grams of alcohol. And if you look, that is per liter. And if you look at the burger buns, such burger buns contain 1.28 grams per every 100 grams of it. So does this make it haram? How would I know? Very simple. As a mufti, as someone who's talking about Islam, halal and haram, we go to the Quran and to the Sunnah. The Quran totally prohibits intoxicants that would not make you know what you say. And this is one of the degrees of prohibiting intoxicants and wine, that you should not pray while you are in the state of intoxication so that you would be aware of what you're saying. The Sunnah, there are so many hadiths. The Prophet ﷺ stated that whatever intoxicates, if consumed in large quantities, then a minute quantity of it would become haram. This is not referring to alcohol. This is referring to intoxicants such as wine, whiskey, vodka, tequila, scotch, bourbon, gin, you name it. So these are intoxicants. Now, alcohol is one of the ingredients, but being there does not mean that it is haram or it becomes intoxicant. So the rule is, as our scholars say, if there is alcohol present in a juice or in a fruit or in dough, we put yates with dough so that it has this thing in it that makes it bigger, and I don't know what's called in English, but it has alcohol as well. They say that if the presence of alcohol, if you consume a large amount of it and you are not intoxicated, this means that it is permissible to consume. Because why is wine haram? Because if you drink a lot of it, you become intoxicated. If I have a barrel of whatever substance and I drink the whole thing and I'm not wasted, I'm not intoxicated, then drinking a little bit is okay. But if I have a bottle of a liquid, of a drink, and if I drink the whole bottle, I become wasted, I become drunk, then a single drop of it is haram. Understood, inshallah? Ya Rab. Hopefully you understand this. Coming back to the question of Brother Abdullah, and I have been bombarded by so many brothers, haters and lovers. Those who love me would advise me out of their love and care. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He brings all the goodness in this world and the hereafter to them for their kindness and their love. As for the haters, my skin is thick. In the beginning, I used to be depressed and saddened when people speak rudely and they abuse me publicly. But nowadays, alhamdulillah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. My skin has become thick. This video that Brother Abdullah is talking about was conducted by an Ahmadi, Qadiani. And we all know how much they love me, because simply we don't pamper them. We say what the vast majority of all Muslims, different schools of thought, different sects, all agree that the Qadiani Ahmadis are kafir, are apostates. They do not belong to Islam. We cannot marry from them. We cannot eat their slaughtered meat. We cannot reply to their salam. When they die, we do not wash them, pray funeral prayer, or allow them to be buried in Muslim cemeteries. This is a well-known fact. It's not from my pocket. Go and ask any respected denomination, organization, Islamic committee, scholars, they all agree on that. So he came up with this video and saying, look at what this sheikh is saying. Out of what? To tarnish my reputation. And he has all the right to do that. It's a free country. Who cares? However, this is not our question. Did you, Sheikh Asim, say 2% to 3% in a drink is permissible because it does not waste? Yes, I did. Do you still stand by this? No, I don't. What do you mean? Akhi, when I talk about Islamic issues, I don't talk from my own self. I'm not a scholar. I don't come up and think, yeah, I think this is halal, this is haram. This is not up to me. I consult scholars, I research issues, and I quote what previous scholars said. I'm not someone who comes all of a sudden and says, Eureka, I came up with something no one else had ever spoken about. I'm the first one to, I don't know how the companions did not figure it out. I don't know how the scholars of Islam did not figure it. This is nonsense. Whatever I say, 99.99% is backed by quotes of scholars. So 2 to 3%, where did you get it from, Sheikh Asim? I got it from Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin. And it's on YouTube, and it's in his books, and in his fatwas. This is what he said, that exactly as I explained to you, the presence of alcohol does not necessarily mean that it is intoxicating. However, if a drink such as non-alcoholic beer, which we have in our country, and there's Barbican, there's Musi, there's different kinds of such beer, and he said if it has 1%, 2%, or 3%, this does not intoxicate. So I quoted what the Sheikh said. Now, is it true or not? This is not to me to decide. I have given you the Islamic verdict, which segregates between wine and intoxicants and other foods and drinks that contain alcohol. How would we know? If consuming a lot of it intoxicates you, then this means it is considered to be wine, it's haram. If it doesn't, then drinking a little or a lot doesn't make any difference because it will not intoxicate you. Now, what is the percentage? This is something for the scientists, for the experts to come and say. Some of them, till date, after researching, say that 2.2 grams or around this ratio does not intoxicate. Some say no. The max is 0.5% in a liter or something, or less than that, in 100 milliliter. So it is an issue that scientists, doctors should contribute in. The principle is the same. Nothing changes. The percentage of 3%, yes, I beg to differ now. This was an exaggeration. Sheikh, how dare you quote something you're not sure of? Sue me. Akhi, I give fatwas and I speak and I teach like all other shuyukh over thousands of issues per day. If one makes a mistake throughout the entire 20 years or 30 years of giving da'wah, Allah, this is excellent track record. So don't shoot the messenger. Don't discredit someone just because he made a mistake or two. We can list so many mistakes of great scholars of Islam, great imams of Islam, but this doesn't discredit them. And it's not fair to only point out a single mistake in an ocean of goodness and of correct aqidah, correct fiqh issues, correct fatwas, correct advices, and you just come to one single thing. So, to sum things up, fairness is part of our religion. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us in the Quran, which the Qadianis don't believe in, if you hate a people, you must be fair, and your hatred must not make you transgress. This is what we as Muslims are obliged to do. So going back to the issue, I have talked about this so many times. I'm getting old, I'm getting tired. I hope this explains to you that everything is halal until proven otherwise. When we have this drink that has percentage of alcohol, you have to look whether consuming, if I consume of the local beer, non-alcoholic beer that we have here in Saudi Arabia, a full pack, a 6-pack, nothing would happen. You have to go to visit the loo every 5 minutes, but nothing would intoxicate you because it does not intoxicate.